everyone, welcome back to the channel and Happy New Year everybody, and akemashite omedetou gozaimasu. So that's Happy New Year if you're in Japan, so please remember that for your Japanese friends. I hope you're all doing fine, hope you're having a nice relaxing day. It's January the 1st now I'm recording this. So yeah, I had a nice long sleep in the morning, and well, I didn't want to cook today, so for lunch I had kind of Animal Crossing themed cup noodle. So it's not a good start to the year, but it was good. Yeah, so it's New Year here. That's usually when people take a bit of a rest. Don't want to do any chores or anything like that. But here I am, I'm making a video for all of you, so please be grateful. Yeah, as promised, I'm going to do the question and answer special. Thank you very much for people who submitted questions. I know it was a bit short notice, but we made it. Yeah, so had a good sleep last night. I went to the shrine after midnight. This is a Hokoku shrine in Osaka Castle Park. But it was pretty crowded, a lot more than last year. I think last year I was kind of in and out in about 15 minutes, but this time it took about an hour. So we all line up and pay our respects to the shrine. I got a fortune as well. You can buy little paper fortunes that tell you how next year's going to be. And I was really lucky. I got Daikichi, which is the big blessing. So that's the best one you can get, so happy about that. And you can buy some good luck charms for the year too, which I did actually, because I think it worked out last year. So hopefully we're going to get good luck this year too. Okay, so that was last night, but today, yeah, I'm going to be answering your questions. So let's get on with it, shall we? Okay, Alex from the internet asks, he's from England, he asks, when and how did you first become interested in Japan? Well, that's kind of a long story. I'll just get this out of the way because this is the origin story. People ask me that a lot. I think that's a common question in Japan. Why did you come here? When are you going to go? No, that's not true. But I guess from when I was a kid, I suppose. But I didn't realize it was Japan that I was interested in. Because you watch cartoons when you're a kid, and some of them are like Japanese ones that get translated over. Video games too. So, you know, Mario's, Sonic, like kind of Nintendo, Sega, Sony. Most of the big ones for me were Japanese companies. Yeah, so I got into that. But then college, I was kind of got into J-pop then as well, and Studio Ghibli as well. Studio Ghibli movie studio. They make some amazing films, so watch those. And my first job was for a Japanese company in England too. So I had a Japanese boss, and I had the first chance to actually visit Japan as a kind of holiday. So yeah, that's kind of got me in very, very gradually. And then I started taking Japanese lessons in my hometown. So if Kayoko sensei is watching this, hope she's happy. I'm here. And hopefully my Japanese has got better since then. So yeah, so not an easy answer, but yeah, that's why I'm here. Okay, next question. How long have you been in Osaka, and why did you choose Osaka? Well, I'm coming up to 8 years now. I think in April it will be 8 years. Why Osaka? Actually, when I came here, I got a job. I took the interview in England. So I was working for one of the big conversation schools in Japan. I don't know if I should name them. I don't know if I'm going to get sued or something. But you probably know who you are. And I kind of had the choice of which office to go to because they had vacancies. So I think my choices were Osaka and I think somewhere in Hiroshima or Okayama, I'm not sure. And one of my friends, or a couple of my friends knew Osaka. One of them was living there at the time, briefly. And yeah, so I chose Osaka, and yeah, it was a good choice. I'm very happy. That's why I'm David in Osaka. I'm not David in Okayama. Next question, actually all of these are from Alex so far, but he said, where would you live in Japan if money was no object? Well, actually, I do like Osaka. I think I would stay there, but if I had to move, then if money was no object, then maybe Tokyo, I guess, because it's kind of a unique city, but nothing special. Maybe Hokkaido. I kind of feel like I'm I like cold places because I get hot really too easily, and Osaka summer is just crazy. I might have like a summer home in Osaka, in Hokkaido. Maybe that would be good. Okay, thanks for your question, Alex. Okay, and Chris from Glasgow asks me, what was the process like for moving to Japan, and what would you say to someone that's thinking about doing it? Well, like I said, I got a job in England for a Japanese company where they recruit in England. I guess they still do that. They recruit from all over the world for the big conversation schools. So these are not schools in the normal sense. They are kind of private language schools. So often, like, people go after work. There are some kids schools too. So they recruit from there. What would I say to someone that's thinking about doing it? If you're worried about adjusting, then I'd recommend staying in a big city, because big cities aren't really that different and there's a lot of English support. And yeah, definitely go with a company too, because they can support you a lot with the setting up. That really helped me, I think. So I was really grateful for kind of easy start. So then you can work your way through it by yourself. Okay, Chris also asks, what is the best thing and the worst thing about where you live? Well, the best thing about Osaka, I think, for living, I think it's a very convenient place to live. Osaka's got really good public transport anyway, the various train lines. That applies to most of Japan, I think. But it's also a good base for the rest of Kansai, because you're pretty close to Kyoto and Nara, Kobe. And Kansai is a really interesting area, very diverse. If you want to see mountains, you can. If you want to see the beach, that's fine. If you want some nice food, that's great too. You've kind of got it all here, and it's easy to kind of feel like you're getting out of get out of the main town. So yeah, come to Osaka. Worst thing, I don't know. I try not to think about it too much. I mean, of course, there's little things that are irritating day to day, but nothing really amazing. I do think paperwork is really annoying, especially for foreigners. I mean, I don't expect it to be English versions all the time, but there's just so much paperwork, and it's just a pain in the bum to do. So it really helps if you have some kind of Japanese friends that can help you with some of that stuff. I'm doing okay now, just about, but that was a big challenge when I came. Just dealing with anything with the banks is just a nightmare. So be warned. Okay, thanks for your questions, Chris. Okay, next question from Hugh Janus from Greece. He asks, what was the biggest problem in the first time? Well, I guess the language barrier is always difficult, but I mean, Osaka, that's not too bad. Just the first few months when you're just settling things, like getting used to your apartment and setting up bank accounts, things like that, that's a real kind of struggle. You've got so many really annoying paperwork processes to get through, so that was a bit of a pain. He also asks, can you name a Japanese habit that's uniquely Japanese? Well, I don't know about uniquely Japanese, but typically Japanese, I guess, or different from British. There's a lot, I think. No, I like that Japanese people know a lot about all the different places in Japan. So if you want to buy a souvenir, if you say to someone, for example, I'm going to where, I don't know, Sendai, they will know exactly, you should do this, or you should try this food, or buy this kind of souvenir. There's kind of a lot of knowledge about what's special in each area, I think. So that's obviously not everybody, but I think that's really interesting. I just don't feel like we really do that in England. We're all kind of bitching about each other, especially souvenirs. I have no idea what kind of regional souvenirs are. I mean, there's a few exceptions, but so I kind of like they kind of embrace the diversity of different areas. I think I answered your question, so thank you for your question. Okay, and Nancy from UK asks, what's your favourite place in Japan that isn't Osaka? Well, it depends what you want, really. I think if you want a nice touristy trip, then Nagasaki is really nice. That's down south in Kyushu. There's a lot of kind of little touristy things to do, and you can go to Gunkanjima, which is a real kind of old coal mining island. I think it was used in a James Bond movie as well, so not the latest one, but something else. But yeah, that's an interesting place and lots of interesting things to do. For food, I like Hokkaido. I like Sapporo miso ramen and Genghis Khan, which is kind of like a lamb barbecue thing. I really miss lamb actually. Actually, if you just want a little day trip from, not day trip, 2-day trip from Osaka, then I recommend Kanazawa, which is kind of on the north coast, but not too far from Osaka. It takes about 3 hours by train. There's a lot of kind of, it's just a really cool town, I think, and there's like an old castle, a beautiful garden, and there's like a modern art museum, which is really interesting too. So yeah, definitely try that. I say modern art museum, that might sound terrible for most of you, me too, but it's not modern art, but 21st century art, it's called. Yeah, Kanazawa 21st century art museum. So if you're like a big Instagram user, then yeah, definitely you'll find some places to take some pictures. So yeah, Kanazawa too. Something you miss from the UK? Well, I mean, of course I should say like, you know, family and friends and things like that, but sorry, that sounded a bit dismissive, didn't it? I don't mean like that. I think you're asking for like something, right? Cheese. Cheese is so expensive here. Oh, in England it's so easy to buy cheese, and fruit as well. That's kind of yeah, reasonable. But in Japan it's quite expensive, I think. If I want to buy an apple, it's, I don't know, I could probably buy one apple for the same price as like a bag of 6 apples in England. But the apples are huge as well. They're like the size of a baby's head. So yeah, I'm not sure about that. But yeah, cheese, it's expensive. I just want a nice block of cheddar or something. I can't really import that. It's going to go a bit bad, I think, in transit. So one more question. Do you have a favorite J-pop star? J-pop, I'm not sure really. I don't know what counts. I mean, I'm always going on about Perfume. It's a 3-piece girl group from Hiroshima. They do like electronic music. It's not that kind of AKB48, AKB48, 47? They've got so many huge groups here. 48. Not like those huge groups. You can kind of get to know these girls, and the music's really interesting too. They always have really amazing visuals too, so if you can check out some of their specials on Netflix or Amazon Prime, you can really enjoy that. So Perfume, check that out. And Godzilla or Mothra? Well, I hate moths, so I guess it's got to be Godzilla. Okay, sorry Mothra. Okay, thank you Nancy for your questions. Okay, regular viewer Bunty Hoven asks online, what Japanese customs or practices would you like in the UK? Oh, that's hard. Well, right now, then wearing a mask would be a good one. I think things in the UK have kind of gone a bit crazy, corona-wise, and so far we're just about keeping a lid on it over here. People don't make a big deal about it, wearing masks, so the only people I know who are making a big deal about it are foreigners living in Japan, so okay. Yeah, so wear a mask, please. Just do it. Japanese stereotypes about British people. I think I've benefited from this actually, that they think British people are gentlemen or gentle people. I don't know how true that is. I've tried to live up to the stereotype as much as I can, and yeah, that's good. That's always worked in my favour, I think. There is a stereotype that British food is not that great. I don't know why everyone's got this impression. It's hard for me to argue with them, but so yeah, they might not be too excited about British food. British things or singers that are bizarrely popular here. There's a whole kind of trope about being in Japan. I don't think that's really true now, although my friend is really into Ollie Murs, which I was really surprised about. I didn't think that was going to translate. Out of all the people, But yeah, Holly Mur's big in Japan, maybe. Okay, Mike asks, did you see any of the Olympics and what was the public reaction to that? Well, I think, yeah, there was a bit of kind of anti-Olympics sentiment at the time because of COVID-19 was kind of really at its peak, I think, around the summer. So it was kind of bad timing, really. I think people just felt a bit sad about it. Some people were really against the Olympics being held at all, which I get, that's fine, but it was a difficult situation. It's kind of unfortunate. I mean, they're celebrating all the athletes too. I've seen them on lots of TV shows, like the people who win the gold medals. Japan did really well as well, so yeah, it was fine. I think my mum was saying, like, are you supporting Japan or UK? But actually, I didn't see a lot of British athletes on the TV. I think that's every country just focuses on the local ones. So yeah, I couldn't see most of them. So I don't know how British did actually. But a lot of people thought the opening and closing ceremonies were a bit of a letdown. Me too, actually. I was expecting massive high-tech, crazy opening ceremony, but the drones were good, and the little, the like iconogram things. He was doing the. Did you see that, the thing with the blue head, and he was doing all the symbols for the sports? That was amazing. I like that one. But yeah, I hope they get the Olympics again soonish, so they can give it another try without Corona. Yes, so thank you very much for your question, Mike. Okay, and Kevin from Ireland is asking me, what are my top 5 albums or films? Okay, I'm going to just focus on Japanese ones, just to recommend to everybody. So I made a list, I got ready for this one. This is no particular order. My top 5 albums are Triangle by Perfume. I mentioned Perfume before. That's amazing. It's good if you're doing a bit of cardio too in the gym. What's next? Bootleg by Yonezu Kenshi. Yonezu Kenshi is a really famous singer-songwriter over here, so definitely check him out. The soundtrack to Kimi no Nawa by Radwimps. I used that so much when I was studying. Just it's a lot of instrumental stuff and a few vocal songs, so it's very relaxing. And yeah, I even visited the place from Kimi no Nawa in Gifu Prefecture. So I was listening to it at the time. I'm such a nerd. Also, yeah, I Am by Ayumi Hamasaki. Now that's really nostalgic for me because I used to listen to her when I was in university. That was like one of my first J-pop interests. So yeah, I Am, that's a really good one. And Utada Hikaru, I didn't want to choose for her, so I settled on Ultra Blue, just because that kind of reminds me of a time when I was really getting into Japan too. That was when I worked for the Japanese company in England. So yeah, I really got into her then. So yeah, check out Utada, definitely. Top 5 movies, well, just watch all of the Studio Ghibli movies. There's a couple of ones that are not my favourite, but most of them are amazing, so definitely check them out, especially La Puta, and what else? Nausicaa, in the Valley of the Wind, and what else? Totoro, maybe, Spirited Away. Yeah, all of them. Just try them all, okay? Thank you very much for your question, Kevin. Okay. And finally, Sam from my family asks me, where should I stay in Osaka? Well, I think most places in Osaka are okay. But most of the downtown areas are in Namba or Umeda. Probably Umeda's better. That's kind of linked up to all of the transit networks and things. And yeah, it's a good base, big kind of downtown area. Do you have any favourite observation decks or towers? In Osaka, then I like the Umeda Sky Building. That's got a really nice view of the river and like the rest of the town. If you go there at sunset, it's really beautiful. Especially, it's open air as well, so you can go right outside. There's one in the Abe no Harukasu too, but you're kind of enclosed a bit, so yeah, it's not as good for me. Outside Osaka, then either Tokyo Tower. I like Tokyo Tower more than Skytree. That's really beautiful, and when it's lit up at night, it's really gorgeous. And also the JR Tower in Sapporo City. I think they're so relaxing and beautiful, and if it's snowing too, you can see, like, you know, a nice snowy scene of Hokkaido. So yeah, try that out if you can. Is there a good rural place to stay near Osaka? Where would I recommend there? Maybe Nara. Nara's a beautiful city too, and it's kind of rural and not so far from the other big cities, so you can still kind of use that as a bit of a base. So yeah, try Nara. And last thing, is there anything you would like Japanese convenience stores to stock from the UK? Weirdly, recently they started selling Costa coffee in everywhere. It's just everywhere suddenly. They're doing a big push in Japan, but I don't really drink coffee, so it's a bit wasted on me. What would I say? Maybe sausage rolls. Okay, no, an all-day breakfast sandwich. Now, yeah, listen to me here. Convenience stores of Japan. All-day breakfast sandwich. It's got bacon, egg, bit of tomato sauce, I guess, and what else? Sausage too. Yeah, definitely all-day breakfast sandwich. I used to love those in England. I used to get them sometimes at lunchtime. So yeah, I'd recommend, please, convenience stores, bring them back. Thanks for your questions, Sam. Okay, I think I've got to the end of my questions. Hopefully that was interesting for you. I think I was pushing my luck a bit, asking for questions and answers with like 200 subscribers. Actually, since I pushed for 200 subscribers at the end of November, I'm already on 241 now as I record this. So yeah, please keep recommending to your friends. If there's any family out there, recommend them. Recommend me. If there's any friends, also please share and help me become a big channel in 2022. That's all I had to say today, so thank you very much for all your support in 2021. Maybe I'll do another special video in March when it's the kind of anniversary of the first video. I don't know, I'll do something, but please stay tuned. I want to do some more videos about Osaka, nice places to go. Finally, I want to finish my top 50 places in Osaka mega video. That was my big goal from day one, so yeah, please stay tuned for that. And please give me your requests. If there's anything you're interested in seeing, just let me know. I really, I need your help. I need some ideas. But thank you for supporting me, and please, yeah, like, subscribe, comment, anything you like. Just keep in touch this year. Okay, thank you very much. Take care. Have a nice rest of your holiday, and see you soon. Bye. Bye.